Shudder has a new horror film in theaters, and I'm here to fill you in because you probably haven't heard of this one. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel and thank you guys for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be discussing a horror film called Stopmotion, which is now available in theaters and will be also available to check out on Shudder at a later date. If you're new to the channel, why not hit the subscribe button? I review all kinds of movies on this channel. This film was directed by Robert Morgan and this is his directorial debut. The film stars Aslan Franciosi, Stella Ginet, and Tom York, and it is about a girl named Ella who is a stop motion animator, and she's having a creative block trying to finish this stop motion animation movie, and she has an overbearing mother as well. The film starts off with Ella and her mother, and we're diving into their relationship. They're working on this stop animation horror film, and Ella's really having trouble really getting her creative juices flowing. But when her mother actually has a stroke, which she also has arthritis as well, she's taken out of the movie pretty quickly, which we do see the resistance in their relationship, the friction, all that kind of tension within the first 10 to 15 minutes of the film, and a little bit of hospital shots where we do see the mother just kind of laying in bed and very weak, which then kind of brings a little bit of actual creative juices for Ella. She also has this little girl that comes into the picture as well, and she really hijacks the production and really starts to give Ella ideas, and what actually turns from a film that really is nothing, it turns into a more sinister horror film. Positives for this film: the practical effects were done extremely well. I really enjoyed the fact that this wasn't a CGI fest. The stop motion animation is done absolutely great. I mean, this horror film that she's making, I was like, if we got a film like this, I would be on board. It looks scary, it looks sinister. The characters, the way that they're designed, there's like wax used, there's animal meat being used, there's raw steak being used, and as the film goes along, it gets darker and darker and dingier. The film is shot very dark. This is not a very well lit film. It definitely has like a bluish tint to it. There's some other colors to it, like they'll have some reds in there. And there is one light scene, I think, but it's more so like a lunch scene. But this film, the way that it's shot and the way that its mood is, I think it really flows very well, and it definitely helps the film kind of carry along its artistic vision, because this film, it's very much on the artist itself. Those ideas start messing with her mind. She starts having a lot of strange dreams, what seems as hallucinations. We start to see a lot of weird different kinds of strange occurrences start to happen, and her mind is so focused on this project because her mother kind of made it so that she needs to focus on this project. And so because of that, she feels like if she doesn't go through with this project, she's an absolute failure. She stays all this time in this dingy apartment and doesn't do anything else, which really affects her relationship, specifically with her boyfriend. The traumatic and violent events that really start to spiral out of control, it really made me question what was Ella's actual upbringing, because one negative I have for this film is in the beginning of the film, obviously we see that relationship with the mother and daughter. Now, it's a little bit too brief, I think, and because it is a little brief, we don't get as much information into really diving into Ella's mind. I feel like we have a little bit, but I also feel like she's suffered a lot of trauma throughout her life, but we really don't know that as an audience. I did see a little bit of foreshadowing. There is a part in the beginning of the film where the mother actually calls her a puppet, or a puppet is what I'm thinking that she really meant by that. I've heard the term puppet, but I think she meant puppet at the same time. I could be wrong. But I think that term, it really determined in what she was actually getting hijacked by the girl and some of her creative type of juices that were flowing. And this really reduced her mental health, her deteriorating as a person and individual, and her just not really feeling all in her element, but she felt really much all in her element when she started to make this horror film, make these creatures come to life, which the creatures are actually really creepy as hell. This character that she creates, this girl that is in the woods and is lost, and then there is this monster called the Ashman actually chasing her. I honestly felt like the lost girl in the woods was actually her, because she does feel kind of lost in this film in certain portions of the film. So I feel like that's like some type of character that's similar to her. And the Ash Man may be her mother, or maybe it could have been like her father from the past, because we don't really know too much about her other past with her family. So maybe this was something that she really experienced earlier in her life, maybe post-traumatic kind of stress that she faced, and that really deteriorated into her mental health, into creating this story. There was one scene where she was in this room, and there was like this person that was like in a mask, which it almost looked like a Slappy mask from like Goosebumps, but like scarier. And that scene right there, I was like, yeah, this is pretty creepy as hell. The third act gets really bonkers. It gets violent. It gets pretty graphic, and it gets very out there, artsy, and the ending is probably not going to sit well with everyone. I don't think this is a movie where mainstream audiences will enjoy this film, and I think even for horror fans, it's really going to depend, because I don't know if casual horror fans are going to like this film. I think visually they could definitely appreciate it, but I don't know if the pacing, because it is a slower film, but even though it's a slower film, it's very atmospheric. And I think because it is atmospheric and it's kind of a study on this one girl and then her making this film, I think it's interesting enough. For me, I would give a score of this film a 3.5 out of 5. And that may be stretching it a little bit, but I really did enjoy this film. I thought it was something different, especially for Shudder too. It's simple enough, but it's just really nice to look at as far as like the stop animation and just like the horror that they really put into that animation. And just watching a character, how she really reacts to certain situations and how her mental health is, it was just really fascinating to me to actually watch. What did you think about stop motion? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out yet, are you going to check it out in theaters, or are you going to wait till it comes on Shudder? Let me know any and all comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.